So then when did you come up here in 2000 then? So you had bought the building a year or so before?
Nope, I bought the building August of 2000 and I moved my practice here in October of 2000.
Okay. So as you were sole practitioner at that time, and still you still are, but how did the evolution of a small building turn into Imagine Health, which is a multi-story building with a lot of different practitioners, come about?
Well, I knew with that little seed money that it was just a start. And so I knew that the building that I bought was just a beginning. And I didn't know if I would end up selling this building and finding another. I knew that it wasn't it. I had an acupuncturist come in with me, and so there were two of us in the building in the very beginning. But I just, again, kept looking for windows and doors that would merge into or evolve into this bigger thing.
So you had a feeling that something like this was going to be, something that would evolve to this was resonating with you at that time?
I knew that that building was too small. It wasn't what I was told to do.
Okay.
I was told to build a building.
So your guides.
And I said, well, I've got to start.
Right. So your guides were there.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you come up with the idea of how you were going to take the different practitioners in? Besides, now you have this acupuncturist in there with you to start with?
Well, again, that was just sort of this miraculous thing. I just cold called this person. I heard that she lived in Columbia Falls and she was practicing in Kalispell, and I called her and said, would you like to practice in Columbia Falls?
Right.
And she said, yes. I don't think we'd even met in person.
Okay.
So that was the start of I called it the Wellness Center.
Yes.
And then it's almost, I've forgotten this piece. I don't know when and how I made the decision to build this addition. And maybe I'm blocked because it never made any sense to do that on any sort of rational level. It still doesn't.
So when you had the opportunity, you knew it was supposed to be bigger. Did you sort of have a master plan to it, or how did that come about?
I knew a couple of things. I knew that this was a leg of a triangle. Kalispell, Whitefish, Columbia Falls. Mm-hmm. We're all about 15 miles apart. And that this leg really hadn't been anchored. Mm-hmm. And that somehow that was really important for the energetics of the valley. Okay. And often I know kind of that much and not enough more, but it was enough. I said, okay, I'll anchor the other leg, whatever that means.
Sometimes you're given what you need to get at that point.
And only that.
Yeah.
And no more.
Well, sometimes, and then it evolves.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right, and sometimes I just get left in the dark and I have to be okay with that. And then there was just this personal desire, because I have lived south of Columbia Falls all these years, that I wanted anything that could happen in Whitefish or Kalispell to happen here. That I wanted people at this leg of the triangle to have access to everything. And you might say it was coming from, like, what would I want to do? I wanted to make it happen here, so that I didn't have to travel.
So I like the analogy of anchoring the triangle. And I think that's really good. So, as this thing started to expand, and did you have other practitioners approach you to practice with you?
Yes.
Okay, so then you knew that the demand, because other people wanted to practice with you, was there, so the growth of the building then made a lot of sense that way. Or did you not know that and then just build it on the faith that they were going to come?
Oh, it was definitely on the faith that they would come.
Okay, sort of like what was the
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams?
Yes.
They will come. Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, so we see the long headlights coming up up the road in Columbia Falls to here. Okay, that's great.
Right. And you know, it's worked that way.
Okay.
People just, it's been a little dry in terms of really having the building full since 2009 or 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a bit challenging, but I've never advertised. People just knock. They just show up and say, I want to practice here.
Okay.
It's really pretty miraculous. There's a part of me now that thinks I should advertise because I have a space that really needs to be rented.
Right.
But it's never worked that, I mean, I could try that.
But it's
But I
never
like
worked
this-
for you.
I like the other process. I
Right.
like that people find this and decide to make a home here.
Mm-hmm.
I just trust that process.
All right. Okay. What? Just to get down to the infrastructure about Imagine Health. What is the variety of practitioners that you have here
Well,
currently?
okay. I'm going to sort of go office by office.
Sure.
We have a therapist who works with children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sort of going to the old part of the building first. So Kelly Ewalt has a practice there. And then the Crystal Bed, that is the newest, least
Yes,
older,
which we'll get into in a little bit here.
is there. And yes, and that's a really exciting thing. I'm glad
Yes.
we can talk about that.
Yes.
And then we have another psychotherapist who's next to me in the next room, who Leanne Byrne.
Uh-huh.
We have a man, Tom Blakeney, who's doing reflexology. And Casey Sullivan does massage and craniosacral. Our acupuncturist went on maternity leave, and I'm not sure she'll be back.
Okay, that's understandable.
And then we have 5 different yoga teachers. We have yoga number of nights a week, and Tai Chi 1 night a week.
You have your movie too.
And my movie.
Right.
That co-sponsored with Ions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I think I've mentioned her before to you, but the Kathy Magnan down in
Red Willow.
Yeah. Have you met her yet?
I haven't. Have
I
you?
have to oh yeah, a number of times, and you two would really it would be really nice. So I'll see if I can facilitate that part.